Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user ReboundDork12345. Am I the a-hole that my husband is planning to go on a dinner date with a long-term ex? I really need input from people who don't know us, so their opinions aren't biased. I'm very emotional and tired, so I apologize in advance for any typos. My husband, Jack, male 36, used to date Emma, female 34, for years. They broke up because Jack didn't want to get married or have kids. Emma moved away, and about a month later, Jack met me, female 30. I don't look like the typical girls Jack had been dating. For example, Emma is super tall, blonde with blue eyes, and has a PhD. I'm petite, 110 pounds and short. I'm a nurse, I have curly dark hair, and I'm introverted. Apparently, she was a social butterfly. Jack has a group of friends that he's known since childhood. They are like brothers to him, but from the very beginning, they didn't like me. They still call me the rebound girl. At our wedding, during his best man speech, he joked, "We all thought rebound girls were temporary, but our brother Jack made an honest woman out of her." Everyone laughed. I didn't. They also joked that I'm just a nurse and that Jack downgraded, since he has a PhD, technically postdoctoral, from a doctor to just a nurse. For my own sanity, I ignore them, and Jack still hangs out with them regularly. Last weekend, there was a fundraising gala and Emma was there. I saw her for the first time in person. Jack introduced me and Emma said, "Yeah, I know who she is. The guys weren't kidding when they described her." Jack quickly changed the topic and asked how long she was in town. She said she'll be here for a week, and then they ended up chatting all night, reminiscing about old times. I decided to talk to other people. Later at bedtime, Jack mentioned that he should go out to dinner with Emma. I assume he meant inviting her over, so I asked what kind of food she likes so I could make it. He said no, it would just be the two of them. I asked, like a date? And he replied, "No, just two friends going to dinner. Why are you so insecure?" I asked him, "Do you miss her? Do you miss being with her?" He said, "I'm not going to lie, it felt great talking to her tonight. There's just something about her." I got really upset and told him he can do whatever he wants, but if he goes on this dinner date, I'm done. He thinks I'm overreacting and being insecure. So, am I the a-hole? Honestly, OP, no, I don't think you're the a-hole. First of all, he's never stood up for you apparently when his friends do those jokes about you just being a nurse or you being the rebound girl. That's just disrespectful. Also, I'm not sure what to make of Emma's comments that the guys weren't kidding when they described you. Haha. Like, I think it's a dig, but I'm not sure because I don't know how they described you, but I'm guessing it wasn't a nice thing. Finally, I don't understand why your husband thinks it's a good idea for him to go alone to dinner with his ex. First of all, why would he want to go to dinner with her in any case? Second of all, why does it have to be alone? Like, if he wants to catch up with her for whatever reason, he should run it by you and then agree or not agree on inviting her over, and maybe other people as well. But him just going alone to dinner with her and then calling you insecure when you said you didn't like that, yeah, OP, all of those things together just give me a really bad chill. So no, you're not the a-hole. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. Dog the Bot Hunter says, "Is this for real? How could literally anyone think they're the a-hole in a situation where their husband is going on a date with an ex? Or how could anyone find it ever appropriate to say someone made an honest man or woman out of anyone else?" And OP responds, "He says it's not a date, I'm being insecure, it's just a dinner, what's the big deal? Two friends want to catch up and he's mad that I don't trust Emma." As for our best man, Jack said his friend was drunk and joked and everyone laughed, so I'm overreacting. Jack sounds like a jackass. Jumpy Willingness 707 says, "Girl, I was with an abusive piece of crap who had a heart attack, depression, and everything else under the sun. He treated me like crap and he deserved absolutely nothing from me. But for some reason, I decided to give it to him for 10 years. Run. This guy does not care for you, respect you, or anything else. You deserve absolutely better." And Opie responds, a year and a half in our relationship, he was diagnosed with cancer. It was a very hard time, but I thought it's my job as a girlfriend to support him, be at every single appointment, make him special meals, take care of him when he was very ill. Hell, cleaning puke off the floor when he was sick after treatments. He told me on our wedding vows that he knew I was the one when I never left his bedside when he was sick. Now I hear there is just something about her, and I want to cry. 8 Marshmallows says, your husband and his friends haven't shown a lot of respect for you or your marriage. How long have you been with him and dealing with this? How long is he gonna let this go on? And Opie responds, his family has been extremely kind and respectful to me. Not once they mentioned his ex's name or compared me. His friends, on the other hand, think it's funny to make these comments. And The World is on Fire 8377 says, 6 months down the road, we'll get the update. Shocker! He's been cheating on me with his ex since they hung out months ago. Please don't be one of those gullible women who let their husband gaslight them into believing that this nonsense is normal. Good lord. If you were going to dinner with an ex, would he have an issue with it? If he asked you if there was anything to worry about and you said, there's just something about him, you think he'd brush that off? Come on. And Opie responds, that's what I told him. Next, there is something about her when you touch her, sleeping with her. Are you even over her? I have never talked about any guy I have ever dated in front of him. Alright, well, the whole community is seeing the writing on the wall. This is of course not a good thing, and OP should follow through with her threat if the husband goes to dinner, because let's face it, you just don't go to dinner innocently like that. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. It's 4:45 a.m. and I didn't sleep last night. I thought I'd post an update. I decided to stay awake and talk to him when he came home. When he did, I told him, I could have tracked your location, shown up at the restaurant and done so many things to get my answer, but I'd like to believe you have enough respect for me to tell me. Were you on a dinner date with your friends or Emma? He showed me pictures and said, no, it was all of us, me and my friends and Emma. I was stupid enough to feel relieved, even feeling bad for accusing him. Then he told me to sit down because we needed to talk. He said that after seeing Emma at the gala, he couldn't stop thinking about her. He decided to take Monday and Tuesday, yesterday, off and spent the whole day with her. Well, I assumed he was at work. He went on about how strong their connection was, how they couldn't stop talking, and how much he enjoyed being with her. He told me, I'm a sweet woman, but he never felt that spark with me. What a jackass. He said hanging out with her made him feel like old times. When I was happy, she makes me feel happy. We talked about the past and laughed. When she was at the dinner with the guys, we were all having fun. I felt like crap. She makes you feel happy and I didn't. What was I doing wrong that you had to find happiness elsewhere? You spent 2 days with her and throwing away 6 years of relationship? He had the audacity to say he realized he was stupid for not marrying her years ago. She is the one for me. She is everything I ever wanted in a partner. We talked about in the past. We planned our future. Great. Maybe take off your wedding ring before drooling over your ex. And by the way, Emma knew about the cancer from mutual friends, but never even called to see how he was doing. Anyway, he said that at dinner, Emma was laughing and having fun with everyone, compared to me being quiet and uncomfortable around his friends. He said it's best if we go our separate ways. I asked him if they had sex, and he didn't reply. I asked again and again, but he still wouldn't answer. I was so upset and asked, why did you marry me if you're not over her? He said he thought I was the one, but these past 2 days made him realize there's no spark between us. He kept going on about how sweet I am and that I'll find someone too. I told him to shut up. I actually said, Emma knew about your cancer treatments. Where was she when you needed a friend? Why didn't she ever call you back then? He went quiet. I feel stupid for ignoring all the red flags over the years and wasting 6 years of my life with him. Luckily, there are no children involved. Doctor told him due to the nature of his cancer and strong treatments, he won't be able to conceive children. It was fine by me. I told him I loved him so much and I don't care about having kids. I'm sure if I had asked about if Emma knew, he would have gone on about his fairy tale plan about his future family with Emma. I wish I could disappear from the face of the earth. I feel so embarrassed and humiliated. My next step is hiring a lawyer and finding my own place. I feel so numb right now. I'm going to contact my brother to help me. I'm close to my brother and sister-in-law, but I don't even know how to tell the rest of the people in my life that my husband decided I'm not fun and wife material after spending 2 days with his ex behind my back. Telling people about how my husband finally found happiness but not with me? How he proudly says I was a mistake and he was wrong about marrying me? My plan is to cut him out of my life completely. He kept saying we can still be friends, but I don't want a friend like him. After our divorce is finalized, I'll never communicate with him ever again. Thank you, everyone. Wow, OP, your husband is the scum that scum wipes off their scummy shoe. What a piece of work. But honestly, OP, I don't think their relationship with Emma is gonna work. Based on the information you gave us, she wants to have kids and he can't have them. In any case, it doesn't really matter. He's scum. Let's just get rid of him. Hopefully, OP, you can put yourself back together and move forward. So on that note, here's wishing you the best in the future. Take care and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user Trio Daddio. Am I the a-hole for letting my son manscape when my wife doesn't want him to? I'll try to keep it short. My wife and I have 3 boys, 17, 16, and 14. May the Lord have mercy on my soul. Actually, they're good guys. I was at Target with my youngest, Tanner. We split for a while and he shows back up asking if he could buy something with his own money. It was a beard trimmer. I laughed and told him he didn't need that yet. He explained, nope, not for his face. He wanted it for downstairs. His older brothers both manscape and he wanted to as well, but they wouldn't loan their trimmers. I told him, sure, I'd even buy it for him. Got home and wife was not impressed. She didn't want him to have it. One excuse after the other. He's not old enough. Sure he is. He didn't need it yet. Okay, true, but he's not exactly taming a jungle, more like a small hedge. But if he wants to neaten things up, that's fine by me. She then went with, I don't want more hair all over their bathroom, non-issue. The boys keep their bathroom clean. While me, Tanner, and the oldest, Liam, are pretty smooth. Middle boy Lucas somehow got the gorilla gene. He was a Sasquatch at 14. If he's not causing a problem, no one will. I told him he could keep the trimmer, but wife seems pursed. I did remind him to keep the bathroom free of little hairs. Get brothers to help or advice if needed, or me. And don't make the mistake of going all Kojak below the belt. Liam made that mistake a couple of years ago, with much itching. So, am I the a-hole for disregarding my wife's opinion? Well, OP, 2 things. You didn't disregard her opinion, you counter-argumented it with logic and she didn't have any more arguments. Also, the boy wanted to buy it with his own money. You offered to buy it for him. So if it makes it better, maybe have him pay you the money and then she can't say anything about it. But I honestly think it has nothing to do with any of that. I think it's the fact that this is her last baby that's growing up and becoming a man. Maybe you want to approach her and talk to her about that. You know, it's just life. So, no OP, I don't think you're the a-hole. And what do you guys think? Let me know your opinion in the comment section. And now let's check out the community comments to see what they had to say. Extinct Diplodocus says, not the a-hole. Your son wants to do it and it's harmless, it's just hair. It would be nice if your wife would come clean with the actual reason she supposed. Does she regularly inspect that area and wants it looking natural? If not, all of her stated reasons are specious. And Dopey responds, no inspections. The boys aren't particularly shy. At all, actually. But it's not like she sees them naked all that often. I think it's just because he's the baby of the bunch. Doesn't want him to grow up or even feel older herself. Hufflepuff Knitter 80 says, not the a-hole. I'd ask your wife bluntly why she thinks she gets any say in what someone else does with their body hair. And for good measure, you could tell her if that's her opinion that you think she should get a Brazilian wax because you think she should have one. Or whatever is basically the opposite of what she personally wants to do with her body hair. She's being totally inappropriate and thinking she has any say in this whatsoever. You're being a great and supportive parent, so kudos to you. Both Lettuce 1576 says, totally not the a-hole. So your son wants to be well groomed. What's wrong with that? If both of his brothers do it, then your wife shouldn't have a problem with it. Plus, he offered to buy it with his own money. You're just being a good father buying it for him. And Louisa 1925 says, not the a-hole. I was 11 years old and was shaving downstairs without guidance. I was in early puberty and the hairs were embarrassing. I made mistakes along the way with no one to ask for assistance. Thank you for supporting your child. And Opie responds, thank you. I know his brothers will help. If not, he knows he can ask me. So the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole, and they actually think he's a pretty good dad for trying to help his kid out in this whole grooming process, which is a learning curve. And OP also had that same theory that this is the baby and she's just having a hard time with him growing up. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Thanks everyone, I'm overwhelmed by all the comments. I only expected a few views and responses. I appreciate all who commented. I read them all even if I could not reply back to each. All's good here. Last night I talked with my wife. As many theorized, she is just wistful that the last baby bird is growing up. Although all are still in the nest. She knows none of them will be little boys forever, but she was and is such a good boy mom that she's missing those times already and had a not so great reaction. That's all there is to it, thankfully. As for Tanner, I went up to the oldest's room where all three were hanging out. You never know where the posse of hooligans will be. Tanner said, check it out, stood up and dropped his shorts in a flash, and yep, the hedge clippers had been at work. I told him, great job, looks good. He said, Liam had to do most of it. Liam shrugged. I'm very blessed they all get along so well and that the older two are excellent big brothers, most of the time. To a couple of people who DM'd me, no, none of us are nudists or anything like that, lol. But they are definitely those never wear shirts guys, and when getting ready to go out, you never know which one or ones will be in the shower. The guys are just self-assured, maybe too much, and not a shy bone in their bodies. Years ago, twice, my oldest, who had long hair then, went as Tarzan for Halloween, and my middle boy once went to a neighborhood costume contest as Michael Phelps in nothing but a Speedo and 8 gold medals around his neck. And this was years after Phelps won. They keep me young and make me very tired at the same time. Thanks everyone! Well, OP, it seems to me like a positive, happy ending. Your wife didn't really have a problem, she just had a problem at that moment. And it sounds like your boys are a tight bunch. So here's wishing you guys the best in the future. Take care and thanks for sharing. And now let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user throwaway7numbers. Don't touch your stuff. Got it. So me, 23 male, and my housemate, 23 female, were actually really good friends at one point, but we have had issues in the past, but we decided to sweep them under the rug and implement some boundaries. Our relationship has been really rocky for the last 6 months. She's very hot and cold with me, and there are times when she just decides not to talk to me, leaving me confused about what I've done wrong. A week ago, she did it again, and we haven't spoken literally at all. If I try to ask her what's up, she says nothing and leaves the room. The latest situation involves the drying rack we share. She left town for a few days and decided to leave her clothes drying on the rack. The thing is, she actually moved my clothes, which were still drying, to put hers on the rack. Then she left a note that said, "Don't touch my crap, thanks, smiley face." I found it pretty ridiculous and hypocritical considering she literally moved my stuff to put hers on the rack. Anyway, all her clothes were hanging on the right side and mine were on the left. The rack gets a bit unstable if only one side has weight on it. So, as I was taking down my clothes, the whole thing tipped over because all the weight was on the right. I considered picking it up and trying to fix it, but then I thought, she told me not to touch her stuff. So I just left it as it was and added my own note above hers, saying, "It fell when I took my stuff down. Didn't want to touch your crap. Be careful what you wish for, you stupid bee." Well, OP, she was very clear. Don't touch her crap. And you didn't. You left a nice note just like she did. I don't know if you left a smiley face, but maybe you should have. Just kidding. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.